In a previous video, we looked at the strategic outcome in the plan, in the Guyana sector plan, as it relates to mastery level literacy assessment for grade 4. And we saw it was set at 50%. And for the year 2016, set at 38%, and we are way below that level. Now let's look at another strategic outcome related this time for grade 6 students gaining 50% or more in core subjects. Remember, it's based on the education sector plan, page 72. And we're looking at the years on the x-axis and the y-axis, the percentage achieved. In 2013 is 22%, 25% in 2014, 2015, year 2, and 2016 is 35%. This, of course, we know is below. We're getting below that. We are in the year 2016, and the year is already passed. It's below 35%. With a failure rate of 70% in mathematics and 70% in English, it's way below that. So we off target. And they're aiming for 45%, grade 6. These are low target areas, low hanging fruit. Percent of grades 1 to 3 CSEC passes in math, English, and science in public secondary schools. That's the strategic outcome. Let's see what it's like. In the baseline year, 2013 is 51%. That's according to the report. In 2014, 53%. 2015, and that's not true. 2015, 55% passed. 2016, 57%. We are way, way below that. The percent of passes in grades with grades 1 to 3 CSEC math and English, and not to mention science, is way below this 57%. Way below that. And they're aiming in 2017 for it to be 60%. They're not going to achieve that. And in 2018, they're aiming for 65%. It's wishful thinking based on the current trend. Let's look at another strategic outcome. The percent change in hinterland versus the coastal regions at grade 6 level, the disparities. Baseline data 2013, the disparity was around 14%. That is the difference in the performance of students who live on the coast and go to school to schools on the coast, and those who live in the hinterland region and go to underserved schools. There's a difference in performance. 16%, 18% in the year 2015, 20% in the year 2016. It's much more than that. The education sector plan wanted to reduce it by 20%, 22%, and 24%. Well, the evidence does not support that's achievable. So what are some of the intermediate outcomes of the education sector plan? So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 intermediate outcomes or initiatives. Each outcome has a set of initiatives. For example, outcome: government departments' performance improves. Well, if you were to go by the newspaper reports, the government departments seem to be perfect. No one criticizes them, nothing, except for the recent departure of the chief education officer, whose contract was not renewed. Outcome number two, accountability system to create incentives to improve student learning. What are the incentives that are in place to improve student learning? Quality of school facilities. There are 5 initiatives. We will go into detail concerning these initiatives for each of these outcomes. Number 4, quality of teaching. There are 12 initiatives. Learning materials, tools, 5 initiatives. Instructional time, 5 initiatives. What I'm suggesting is the Guyana Education Sector Plan 2014 to 2018 is a complex plan, and it cannot be effectively and efficiently implemented using pen and paper methodologies. In other words, officers cannot sit down at a desk and enter figures and write letters and write memos and achieve these objectives. They have to have a software application that will enable them to implement the program and monitor that program. And they need persons with specific training in this area so that they can reduce the number of firefighting events that they have to rush to a school here or another school there, or you read in the papers that something has happened to a school in Kokwani, parents have been locked out because of X, Y, and Z. The school has to be shut down because of another factor or a number of factors. That's unacceptable. And that happens, in my view, because the schools do not enjoy sufficient autonomy in its management. Regional education officers have not managed complex programs like this, and they're not trained in the relevant educational software application to do that. That is why we are behind in the implementation of the education sector plan. Okay, let's look at a specific, or in the next video we look at the outcome of in detail at outcome number 4, that deals with quality of teaching.